The hidden fortune. Why some Amish are secretly millionaires. When you see an Amish family traveling in their plain horse-drawn buggy, wearing simple homemade clothes and living in modest farmhouses, wealth is probably the last thing on your mind. Their entire lifestyle seems designed around rejecting material excess and embracing simplicity. But beneath this humble exterior lies a surprising reality that challenges everything most people think they know about these communities. Some Amish families possess fortunes that would make their English neighbors envious, yet they've mastered the art of invisible wealth in ways that most millionaires never could. The business empire, hidden in plain sight. The most dramatic source of Amish wealth comes from an unexpected place: entrepreneurial success that rivals any modern business story. For decades, economic pressures have forced many Amish families away from traditional farming and into small business ownership. What started as necessity has evolved into remarkable commercial success that generates millions of dollars annually. Walk through any major Amish settlement, and you'll discover a thriving economy built around trades and manufacturing. Furniture workshops produce handcrafted pieces that sell for premium prices to customers willing to pay for quality and authenticity. Cabinet shops create custom kitchen installations that cost more than many people's cars. Construction crews build homes and commercial buildings with reputations for excellence that keep them booked months in advance. The success stems from several factors that give Amish businesses significant advantages over their competitors. Their legendary work ethic means projects get completed on time and exceed quality expectations. Their emphasis on craftsmanship over speed results in products that last generations rather than years. Their community connections provide built-in networks of skilled workers, suppliers, and customers that reduce business costs and increase reliability. Perhaps most importantly, they tap into something modern consumers desperately want: authenticity. In a world of mass-produced, disposable goods, Amish-made products represent genuine craftsmanship and traditional values. Customers pay premium prices not just for quality but for the story and values behind the products. Some Amish business owners have become multi-millionaires through these enterprises. They employ dozens of workers, operate multiple locations, and generate annual revenues that would impress Wall Street executives. Yet they continue living in the same modest homes, wearing the same plain clothes, and traveling in the same simple buggies as their less wealthy neighbors. The land lottery winners. The other major source of Amish wealth involves something completely beyond their control: the dramatic appreciation of farmland values in areas where they've lived for generations. Families who inherited farms that were worth modest amounts decades ago now find themselves sitting on multi-million-dollar properties. Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, provides the most striking example of this phenomenon. Development pressure from nearby cities, combined with the area's reputation as a tourist destination, has driven land prices to astronomical levels. Farms that might have been worth $50,000 in the 1960s now sell for several million dollars. These Amish landowners didn't seek wealth, it found them. Their ancestors purchased or inherited farmland when it was relatively inexpensive agricultural property. Population growth, urban sprawl, and tourism development transformed that same land into some of the most valuable real estate in rural America. The wealth remains largely theoretical because most of these families have no intention of selling. The land represents their heritage, their livelihood, and their connection to generations of family history. They're millionaires on paper, but continue living as farmers, working the same fields their great-grandparents cultivated. However, the land values do provide financial security and options that previous generations never possessed. Some families sell portions of their property to fund business ventures or help their children purchase farms in less expensive areas. Others use the land as collateral for business loans or major purchases. The art of invisible wealth. What makes Amish wealth so fascinating is how completely hidden it remains from casual observation. While most wealthy Americans display their success through luxury cars, designer clothes, expensive homes, and exclusive vacations, wealthy Amish families follow community standards that make their prosperity nearly invisible. Their clothing remains identical to their less wealthy neighbors. plain, homemade garments that follow community guidelines for style, color, and fabric. A millionaire Amish businessman wears the same simple pants, plain shirt, and suspenders as someone earning a modest income from farming. Their commitment to humility and equality means that external displays of wealth would violate core community values. Even their homes, while potentially larger or better maintained than average, follow traditional architectural styles and avoid ostentatious features. You might notice slightly better construction quality, more spacious layouts, or superior craftsmanship, but nothing that screams wealth or luxury. The emphasis remains on functionality and family needs rather than status display. Their transportation tells the same story. Wealthy Amish families might own nicer horses, better maintained buggies, or more elaborate harnesses, but these improvements focus on quality and durability rather than showiness. The differences are subtle enough that only community insiders would recognize the signs of prosperity. Where the money actually goes. So what do wealthy Amish families do with their money if they can't spend it on typical luxury items? The answer reveals fascinating insights into their values and priorities that differ dramatically from mainstream American culture. Land acquisition represents a major investment category. Wealthy Amish families often purchase additional farmland, either for their own use or to help their children establish farms. In areas where land prices have made farming financially difficult for young families, successful business owners sometimes buy property and sell it to their children at below-market prices, ensuring the next generation can continue agricultural traditions. Some invest in hunting land or recreational property that provides family enjoyment while serving as long-term investments. These purchases allow them to enjoy outdoor activities while building wealth through property appreciation. Investment in traditional financial instruments also occurs, though it's handled discreetly and often through community networks rather than mainstream financial advisors. Stocks, bonds, and other investment vehicles provide ways to grow wealth while maintaining separation from worldly financial systems. The community safety net. Perhaps the most important use of Amish wealth involves supporting community members during times of crisis. Medical emergencies create particular challenges because most Amish families don't carry conventional health insurance. When someone faces catastrophic medical bills, wealthy community members often step forward to help cover expenses. This informal insurance system works because successful business owners and landowners understand their responsibility to support less fortunate neighbors. It's not charity in the traditional sense, but mutual aid based on shared community membership and religious obligations. The system extends beyond medical emergencies to other community needs. When families face financial hardship due to crop failures, business setbacks, or other challenges, wealthy community members provide assistance through loans, employment opportunities, or direct financial support. This creates a social safety net that operates entirely outside government programs or institutional charity organizations. The wealthy have resources, the community has needs, and religious principles provide the framework for connecting the two. The generational wealth transfer. Amish wealth often accumulates across generations in ways that create substantial family fortunes while maintaining traditional lifestyles. Successful businesses get passed down to children who expand them further. Valuable farmland stays within families for decades or centuries, appreciating in value while providing ongoing income. The key difference from mainstream wealth transfer involves the emphasis on community benefit rather than individual enrichment. Wealthy Amish families use their resources to help their children establish farms, start businesses, or purchase homes, but always within the context of maintaining community connections and traditional values. Some families establish what amounts to private foundations that support community projects, help with medical expenses, or provide assistance during natural disasters. These informal charitable activities operate without the legal structures or tax benefits that wealthy English families might use, but they serve similar functions within the community. The pressure of prosperity. Wealth creates unique challenges within Amish communities that most outsiders never consider. The emphasis on humility and equality means that obvious displays of prosperity can create tension and criticism from other community members. Wealthy families must navigate the delicate balance between enjoying the benefits of their success and maintaining their standing within the community. Some wealthy Amish families face pressure to contribute more heavily to community projects, support more families in need, or take on greater leadership responsibilities. Success brings expectations that can become burdensome, especially for families who achieved wealth through circumstances beyond their control, like land appreciation. The temptation to leave the community for a more comfortable lifestyle also increases with wealth. When you have millions of dollars, the restrictions of Amish life might seem more limiting than when you're struggling financially. Some wealthy families do leave, trading their community connections for the freedom to enjoy their prosperity without constraints. The economic impact. The presence of wealthy Amish families creates interesting economic dynamics within their communities and surrounding areas. Their business success generates employment opportunities for both Amish and English workers. Their land ownership helps preserve agricultural areas that might otherwise be developed for commercial or residential use. Their purchasing power supports local economies in ways that benefit everyone. When Amish businesses need supplies, equipment, or services, they often buy locally, creating economic multiplier effects that strengthen rural communities. The tourism industry also benefits from Amish prosperity. Well-maintained farms, successful businesses, and thriving communities create attractive destinations that draw visitors who spend money on lodging, dining, and shopping throughout the region. The future of Amish wealth. As Amish communities continue growing and evolving, the patterns of wealth accumulation and distribution will likely change as well. Younger generations face different economic pressures and opportunities than their parents and grandparents experienced. The shift from farming to business ownership will probably continue, creating more opportunities for wealth creation, but also more exposure to economic volatility. Land prices in traditional Amish areas may continue rising, creating both opportunities and challenges for families trying to maintain agricultural lifestyles. The key question involves whether Amish communities can maintain their traditional values and social structures while accommodating increasing levels of wealth disparity. The informal systems that currently manage wealth distribution and community support may need to evolve as the economic gaps between families continue widening. The lesson in hidden prosperity. The story of Amish wealth offers fascinating insights into alternative approaches to prosperity and success. While mainstream American culture encourages the display of wealth as a symbol of achievement, Amish communities have created systems where wealth serves community needs rather than individual ego. Their approach demonstrates that it's possible to accumulate significant wealth while maintaining humility, supporting others, and preserving traditional values. The emphasis on community benefit over personal display creates a different relationship with money that prioritizes long-term stability over short-term gratification. Whether you agree with their lifestyle choices or not, the Amish approach to wealth management offers lessons about the relationship between prosperity and happiness, individual success and community responsibility, and the difference between having money and being controlled by it. The next time you see that simple horse and buggy traveling down a country road, remember that appearances can be deceiving. Behind that humble exterior might sit someone whose net worth exceeds most suburban professionals, yet who has chosen to use their wealth in ways that strengthen their community rather than elevate their status. In a world obsessed with displaying success, perhaps there's wisdom in learning how to hide it.